Hey guys, day 21. We're going to start with our How Big Is It book. Yesterday we talked about how big a football player was. Today we're going to talk about big trees. This is a sequoia tree, and I know Uncle Brad and I got to see one when we were young kids, and Aunt Holly and her family have gone to see these giant redwoods and sequoias. This is the General Sherman tree. It is the biggest tree on earth. A giant sequoia named General Sherman is more than 40 feet wide. People look like mice standing next to it. It is tremendous. Ha ha. General Sherman also is very old, probably about 2,000 years old. That's much older than Grandma. It's older than Great Grandma, too. How about a really tall tree like the sequoia? The biggest tree is the redwood. The tallest trees are redwoods. They grow 300 feet tall and can be 12 feet wide. They live in groves in California. A very tall building is called a skyscraper. This building has 30 floors. Each floor is also called a story. The redwood and the skyscraper are each 30 stories tall. Someone just took an elevator to the skyscraper's roof. You see them up there? So there are trees that grow that big. But they make skyscrapers even bigger than that. So we've been doing a lot about money. Today we're going to talk about the part of money, at least we're going to start about it, that talks about a bank. A bank is where I send most of my money, though I use one called a credit union. And I don't have to keep all the money at my house. The bank keeps my money for me and it keeps it safe. And then I can send money to people that I need to pay for my house and my electricity and our groceries. So, what is a bank? A bank is a safe place to keep money. But a bank is also a business. It performs a number of services for its customers that need to make, and it needs to make a profit. A bank uses customers' deposits of money to lend to other people who need money. There are rules to make sure that the bank doesn't lend too much money so that when a customer wants his money, it can still have some for them. The bank pays for the use of the money, and the bank charges people who borrow the money a fee. That fee the bank charges people who borrow the money is called interest. There are banks all over the country and all over the world. Are there special ranks that a bank must obey? Yes, there are. One is banks must insure their customers' deposits. Banks must keep a percentage in the Federal Reserve, and they must tell the customers the interest rates on the loan. All agreements in the bank have to be signed in plain English so the customer understands what they're doing. The bank may not discriminate against anyone on your age or religion or whether you're a man or a woman or what ethnic group you belong to. Banks may not make loans unless they are sure they will be repaid. Yes, it's a promise. If you sign the paper, you say you promise to pay it. If you use a credit card, you promise that you'll give the money back. You're always borrowing it for a little bit. So yesterday we started our weights and measurement book, and we talked about measuring things that were kind of small, inches and feet. What did you find to measure yesterday? When I put 3 short rulers together that are feet, I say that's a yard. And a yard is about from my nose to the tip of my fingers. If I put my arm out like that, that's about a yard. It's not a precise measurement, but it's close. Grandma measures fabric at the fabric store all day long in yards. Now that's a little different than saying Grandpa goes out and mows the yard. 12 inches equals 1 foot, and 3 feet equals 1 yard. 36 inches also equals a yard. And Grandma, sometimes people say, I don't want a whole yard of fabric. I just want half of it. That's a fraction of it. I just want part of it. And half of a yard is 18 inches. Sometimes they only want a fourth of a yard. And a fourth of it is 9 inches. 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 equals 36. A mile. How long is a mile? It's 1,760 yards, or 5,280 feet. How many Hershey's bars would fit with almonds placed end to end to make a mile? Well, you would need more than 12,000 of them. I'm not going to buy 12,000 Hershey bars with almonds. That would cost a lot of money. But I go from an inch to a foot to a yard to a mile. When Grandma comes to your houses, it takes me 8 or 10 or 15 hours to get to your house. Usually we drive our car at about 60 to 65 miles an hour. And if I go 60 miles an hour for 8 hours, that's about 480 miles. If I go about 65 miles for 10 hours, it's about 650 miles to Holly and Chaz's and Mariel and Tobias and Joy and Raph's house. It's an estimate. It's not exactly how. Next time I check and drive to your houses, I'll have to check exactly how many miles GPS tells me it is to your houses. The Best Bug Parade by Stuart J. Murphy, illustrated by Holly Keller. He has not used the same illustrator yet that we've seen. Look at all the bugs. I see caterpillars, beetles, and moths. The Best Bug Parade. I am big. I don't know that they were drawing actual bugs or things that are supposed to look like. I'm bigger than you. I guess we could measure those bugs, couldn't we? Could measure this bug with my finger, and he's about that long, and this bug is like 2 and a bit of my finger. So yes, this bug is bigger than this one. Could measure it and figure it out. I'm the biggest bug by far. He's got his wings spread out. So big, bigger, biggest. Good. Big, bigger, biggest. I am small. I'm smaller than you. Oh. This bug says, I'm smaller. Well, yeah, this bug's that long, and this bug appears to be smaller. His head is smaller. I'm the smallest bug. Small, smaller, smallest. Before the bug said good, big, bigger, biggest, small, smaller, smallest. He had a good parade before, now it's getting better. I am long. I'm longer than you. But I'm the longest bug by far. Long, longer, longest. Best parade. Big, bigger, biggest. Small, smaller, smallest. Long, longer, longest. Best parade. I am short. I am shorter. I'm the shortest bug. Short, shorter, shortest. Good, better, best. Big, bigger, biggest. Small, smaller, smallest. Long, longer, longest. Short, shorter, shortest. We are all together. Long and short and big and small. The best bug parade of all. The best bug parade.